Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays a Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. Hello, it's me. We've won 2 runs in a row. And it only took our whole life. Okay. This run is fine. 3-3-WQ, J3-P3. 4 threes. I'm seeing double. 4 threes. But in this case, I guess you'd be... I'm seeing double. 8 threes. Anyway, the point is, it don't matter. The run is A-OK. It needs a tiers upgrade, and then we're off to the races. There's a variety of different ways we could get to a certain level of DPS that could make this run work. One way is just to get just the slightest eensy-weensy bit more money. I am an idiot. It's an XL floor. I was playing too fast and loose. I was looking forward to talking about how I was going to get to an arcade, and I blew it. Okay, why don't you come over here, dude? Whoa. What, do you think I peed on the floor or something? Who do you think I am, Barry? Who's Barry? Yo, guys, Barry just palmed the dip. You're such a klutz. I'm gonna embarrass you, Barry. You know what I mean? It's from the Netflix show, I Think You Should Leave. That's the... I'm not gonna... Yeah, I hate when people do that. If you're gonna... You shouldn't be a gatekeeper. Oftentimes, inside jokes can become gatekeeping, you know? You tell someone, like, oh, wow, he really Munsoned it. And then you go, what? And then, like, 2 other people start laughing. And you go, what's Munson? And they go, oh, he doesn't know. You should use an inside joke as an opportunity to bring somebody from the outside. If elected your leader, I will make sure all inside jokes come with an extended olive branch in order to make the people on the outside of the inside jokes from henceforth hitherto this point become inside to the inside jokes. Don't we all welcome the warmth and comfort? I don't know, the voice keeps changing. I'm not trying to do it. Dude, Polyphemus is a great get. I'm going to take that as an incredible reward from the Lord above for my impression of every American president simultaneously. Yo, a bit of a range penalty, but the tiers upgrade. She looks like a steakhouse, but she drives like a bistro. It's just this episode is all quotes. That's what happens at the end of the day. You know, all I got left is to be on the shoulders of giants. Like I've said it before, but like, you know, you want to be the funny guy in your friend group? Oh, it's so easy. Don't waste your time trying to come up with clever jokes, okay? If you got other friends who are funny, maybe they'll laugh at your funny jokes. But instead of that, all you really gotta do is remember the funniest quotes from the funniest movies and repeat them at appropriate moments, or perhaps even inappropriate moments. For example, try this one out. You're a high school student in 2004, 2005. Tap your buddy on the shoulder. He turns around. Hit him with one of these. Do the chickens have large talons? I'm telling you, he's gonna crack himself up. If they have a kegger on the weekend, they're not gonna invite you, but at the kegger they will talk about it. He's so funny, dude. Ryan's so... No, it wasn't. That story was not about me. It's a different Ryan. It's Ryan Gosling, who wasn't invited to our parties because he was too handsome. And was also probably like 27 when I was in high school, so it would have been weird, even though it also could have been kind of cool. But he probably should have said no if he was even invited, is what I'm trying to say, which he was not, because I don't even know where he grew up. I think it was probably in, like, you know, Thornhill or something like that. I didn't grow up near Thornhill to begin with. Anyway, the point is, stop trying to go to my parties, Ryan. You see the sign. I'm pointing to a sign now that says no Ryan's allowed. And he's going to say, but you're Ryan. And I'm going to say, yeah, the sign's plural. We already got one Ryan. Go home, pretty boy. Why don't you run back to Hollywood? Get some wham burgers and some French fries. You know that one? Who said that? Hold on. Ruka, you can't walk in front of the monitor, my boy. you guessed that line was uttered by gubernatorial candidate Kid Rock in his film debut in the 2001 David Spade film Joe Dirte, you would be absolutely correct. Why don't you get some wham burgers and some French fries? I'm not saying he wrote the line, but he did have a certain sense of glee mid-delivery. Anyway, there's another Simpsons reference that was buried in there. It's the no homers allowed club sort of situation. Anyway, that was the peak of humor, you know? It doesn't take much to be popular in high school in 2004, 2000, well, not 2004, I guess, 2005. You need basically, there's two pieces. You're going to need to watch all of the films on the high school best of quote list. So that is going to mean that you're going to have to go see Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. You're going to have to go see Dodgeball, True Underdog Story. That's about it, honestly. Those and Napoleon Dynamite. Sorry, I forgot about that one. Help. You might say, NL, what about Step Brothers? You forget, I'm 30 years old. Step Brothers came out when I was in, like, my third year of university. It was not something I quoted in high school. I know, the Catalina wine mixer, okay? I'm familiar. It's roughly contemporaneous. Sorry, I forgot one more movie. You do have to see The Wedding Crashers. If you don't see the whole movie, you just have to see Will Ferrell's cameo, where he goes, dude died in a hang gliding accident. What an idiot. Oh, I'm hang gliding, I'm dead. Ma, the meatloaf, etc., etc. That's pretty much all you need. I didn't go to a sophisticated high school. That's step one. Step two is you really gotta like the song Hey Ya by Outkast. And it shouldn't be hard. It's a great song. Maybe, here's the thing. If you want a real opinion on the subject, I don't think Hey Ya, I mean, it's not really an Outkast song. I guess it's an Andre 3000 solo bop, but it is a great song. But, you know, I prefer the slightly earlier Outkast from the Speaker Box Love Below era. I like to go back maybe 2 albums to Aquemini. Certainly do not go forward to the Idlewild one. There was only really like one good track on that album, and it's the one, I forget how it goes, but it goes, ha ha, something, something. No, wait, that's Rosa Parks. That's from Aquemini. That's a good one. Oh, it's a fan in the stands. Yes, I am, and I'm hollering, hey, baby. You know, I forget what the... Anyway, the point is, probably go with The Art of Storytelling Part 1. A very braggadocious burst right off the top from Big Boy. She said, let's hit the parking lot so I can sick your duck. Classic little bit of tongue-twisting wordplay. She said she understood and everything was kosher. I gave her a Lil Will CD and a effing poster. It's like that, y'all. It's like that, y'all. And then, of course, right after, Big Boy hits you with the clumsily worded yet eloquent Lothario-isms. Andre 3000 comes over the top with a story of unrequited love for a now-deceased partner of Susie Screw named Sasha Dumper. It's just an all-time classic beat. And then on the remix, Slick Rick coming in with, you know, a little bit of a misogynist and rap ripe with double standards, but at the same time, quite hooky. And it was, I'm not defending Slick Rick. I'm just saying, first off, it's, you know, it's a song, it's a work of fiction, and then secondarily, it does bop. That doesn't make the content less objectionable. But let me put it this way, dude, I'm kind of operating in a world of double standards. You know, I really like Straight Outta Compton, the album from NWA. They do talk a lot about murder. Just about every song includes a reference to murder. I think the only one that doesn't is actually Something to Dance To, which is a weird kind of like, you know, it's like an electronic dance song. I know it sounds weird, but for real, it's not even bad, it's just very out of place. But anyway, yes, even in Express Yourself, the song from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, I believe that there might have been a little bit of murder discussion, but I can't run through the lyrics right now in my head to figure it out. I'm just saying, if you're talking about best Outkast songs, I think for me it's the Art of Storytelling Part 1. I think it's an all-time classic, you know? Of course, you know, Miss Jackson. Bombs Over Baghdad is probably actually second. Miss Jackson is pretty good. Rosa Parks. You get the idea. There's a lot of great ones. I mean, they've had an illustrious career. And then Big Boy gone on to do amazing solo work. What is it called? You know, the one with Shine Blockas, the one where the music video makes it look like Gucci Mane is dead, but he's merely incarcerated. Anyway, I can just go on like this for like hours. If you're interested. Even if you're not, there's really nothing you can do about it. Okay. I really would like to modestly beat the odds. Get a little deal with the devil action. Should be fine, but anyway. That's my opinion on Outkast. Everybody, you always act surprised. I like Outkast. They're like one of the best-selling, most influential rap groups of all time. It's like being surprised your mom knows 99 Problems by Jay-Z. Oh, Mom. I didn't know you were into that gangster rap. Like Bonnie and Clyde Part 1 with Beyonce featuring Jay. Oh, well, I love Beyonce. I just try to fast forward through all the gangster rap stuff that happens. All right, Mom. This is a little band maybe you've heard of. You like Jay-Z? Here's Cool G Rap. With a feature from the Jizza. Look, if Bill Murray and the RZA can film movies together, you can be a fan of whatever music you want to be a fan. If you want to exclusively listen to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 soundtrack for whatever reason, I could not tell you, by the way, what the title song is from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 soundtrack, but you can bet your bottom dollar I'm about to look that up. There is not a single doubt that should exist in your mind. I'm going to get myself to this item room, and I'm going to look up whatever, because Spider-Man 1, Hero, Chad Kroeger featuring Josie Scott. I was trying, which one's the outlaw, which one's the lead singer of the band known as Saliva? Hold on. I was building a good bit in my head. It was something like the assassination of Jesse James by the coward known as Doug Ford. But then I honestly was going to say Robert Ford. But then I was like, that's the real name of the movie. But also Rob Ford was the reference that it's a Canadian politic. You know, I might not remember. Anyway, the point is, hold on. So, Spider-Man 2, Vindicated by Dashboard Confessional. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 soundtrack. No, not download MP3. Do you think I'm a criminal? It's on again. Pharrell Williams, Alicia Keys, Kendrick Lamar, and then out of left field, Hans Zimmer. Oh, Kendrick. It's on again, debuted on the Billboard Adult R&B Songs chart at number 17. Yikes. You get Alicia Keys, Pharrell Williams, and Kendrick Lamar on a track, and it goes to number 17 on a niche Billboard chart. You screwed up somewhere down the line. I like the idea, though, that it's called, like, It's On Again. And it's, like, the 8th Spider-Man movie in 15 years. Now I'm just imagining that Kendrick's entire part is just the origin story of Spider-Man. Picture this. Kid named Peter Parker, nerdy little know-nothing, bit by a radioactive spider. Now he's got something. Okay, it's like, first off, I'm not a rapper, okay? But... Get this, next door neighbor, played by Kirsten Dunst. I think it's Emma Stone in the Amazing Spider-Man. But Just what we need is the origin story of Spider-Man in a condensed musical form. I think they should really legitimately bring back like a Billboard, you know, Hot 200 version of the original Spider-Man soundtrack. Tells you everything you need to know. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. I mean, think about how dense that single sentence is. You know, does whatever a spider can, tells you a lot of stuff, you know? Spins a web, any size, catches thieves just like flies. Catchy, so you can remember it. Nice little rhyme in there. But also, a little bit of hidden information. Catches thieves just like flies. Now you know, Spider-Man is against the crime of thievery. Probably correlates with him being a good guy. Because I don't know, if you're hearing the song for the first time, you might freak the F out. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can, spins a web any size. You're like, oh no, dude. I'm in a lot of trouble if I run into this Spider-Man. Catches thieves, just like flies. You're like, I'm not a thief. I'm safe. But if you are a thief, you're like, oh no! Not only was I afraid before as a human being, but now I'm part of the niche subgroup that he apparently is very against. And he catches me just like a fly. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? It gets a little confusing in the second verse, bear with me. Is he strong? Listen, bub. Listen, bud. There you go. He's got radioactive blood. That does not tell me that you did not answer my question. You answered my question by giving me an unrelated aside. It's like, is he strong? Listen, bud. Check out my ornate bathtub. You know? What is him having radioactive blood doesn't seem like it would inherently lend itself to strength, you know? If you were like, his blood's made out of, you know, anabolic steroids, I would be like, first off, my man's gotta get to the freaking hospital. What's his hemocrit? But then, you know, after that, I would be like, okay, I get your point, Spider-Man theme song. He's strong. Is he strong? Listen, bub. He's got radioactive blood. Hold on. Is he strong? Listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Look out, here goes the Spider-Man. He sees you when you're sleeping. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Wealth and fame, he's ignored. F in chat, please. Action is his reward. All right. Artist, Michael Bublé. Released on album Babalu 2001. What? You're telling me my man Michael B? He made a Spider-Man? Like, Spider-Man? I can't do a Michael Bublé song. All I'm going to say is, how does Christmas factor into it, Michael? Is he strong? Listen, bud. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Anyway. Now I gotta look. What was the song from Spider-Man 3? Because, like, dude, Spider-Man 1 and 2, they kind of brought the heat. Spider-Man 3 soundtrack. Let's see. Did they have a big hit on that one? Signal Fire by Snow Patrol and The Twist by Chubby Checker. Though the album also contains the Spider-Man theme song made by the band Flaming Lips. Flaming Lips also made the song The Supreme Being Teaches Spider-Man How to Be in Love. Of course they did. What a delightfully devilish Mr. Coin. Anyway, what was I gonna say? It's like, there's so many. We haven't talked about Isaac at all. Just accept this is a little bit of a late night delirious Isaac episode, okay? His name is Peter Parker. When he's Venom, his suit's darker. And that's all I got. But that's a much more fleshed out Flaming Lips joke than you'll get from almost any other channel on this godforsaken platform. Not to mention, it also had to do with Spider-Man in one way, shape, or another. An attempt was made, okay? Look, you have to have a very interesting cross-section of interest to have really understood the joke, which is not to say that the joke warrants understanding. It's not really a good joke at all. In fact, the punchline of the joke is almost exclusively, haha, I get it. I know both Spider-Man and Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots Part 1 by the Flaming Lips. That's probably still like 7,000 people watching this video who got that, but you know, you guys, it depends on your age. I noticed this as I got older. People always tell you, like, you know, oh, things, you'll get it when you get older, you know? When they hear stand-up comedy. Like, there's a joke I always think of in Deuce Bigalow. And I know this is a strange reference, but, okay, so, Oded Fair, who also played I believe, a Bedouin guide in the movie The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser. And he was also in, like, 4 of the Resident Evil movies. In the movie made by Rob Schneider called Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo, which just predicates itself upon the absolutely outlandish premise that people would pay money to sleep with Rob Schneider. I'm sorry, but it was really funny. Either way, Oded Fair plays, it's probably pronounced Fear, so I apologize. He plays a gigolo whose services are very much in demand. But then Rob Schneider, he's cleaning the fish tank at his house, and he trips and he breaks the fish tank trying to do hanging abdominal raises. And this, of course, he's like, $10,000, how am I going to pay for that? And then, because it's a movie, the guy doesn't go like, I don't know, maybe do your job and give me the proceeds. Instead, he's like, well, you gotta take my job, be a gigolo, and then pay me $10,000. Anyway, there's a scene in which Oded Fear, he comes back from being with a client, and he urinates for a really, really, really long time. And I remember I watched it with my parents and my grandparents, and they were killing themselves laughing. And I was like, what's so funny? And they were like, you'll get it when you're older. And then I watched it when I was older, and I realized the entire joke is just he's peeing a lot because there's like a stereotype that after doing the deed, guys pee a lot, which I still don't even, I mean, I'm telling you, first off, that hurts me a great deal when you do that to me. But secondly, I'm telling you, this is the honest-to-God reason. That's the punchline for that joke. It's not very funny, and I resent that I've backed myself into a position where somehow I have to defend the humor of this one-off, you know, basically audio gag from Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo. But anyway, I feel like that's what people mostly mean by, like, I'll tell you when you get older. Hold on. Honestly, I think we want to go with Mom's Contact. I think it's our best item in that situation. But that's not been my experience, you know, as I watch more comedy as I get older. Here was what happened to me. You know, I'd always be watching or listening to stand-up comedy albums when I was younger. And then Patton Oswalt would make a joke about, like, this set's messier than G.G. Allen's stage. And everyone would go, ha, 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 ha. And I would go, ha, ha, ha. But I didn't really get it. I was like, who's G.G. Allen? And why is he such a messy boy? And I realized, you know, when you start watching that stuff and you get older, you just have more work experience, or more life experience, I should say. So you got a better idea of, basically, for a lot of stand-up comedians, I don't think this is necessarily respective of their talent or otherwise, the joke makes a lot more sense once you have a little bit of a rounder sort of knowledge of the world around you. And once you watch that documentary on G.G. Allen and realize that he routinely crapped himself on stage as a joke. Pretty funny, right? They must have missed that one at the Deuce Bigalow convention this year. It's very scary to me. There's a lot of scary things related to Deuce Bigalow. First off, again, the just absolutely baffling central premise of the film. Secondly, there's a sequel, which is just unbelievable. And then thirdly, you know that somewhere out there, there's like a 45-year-old dude on Tinder he's wearing Oakley sunglasses in his profile photo, and he's like, my favorite movie's Deuce Bigelow. I'm not saying there's many, but there is one dude out there. He's probably named like Ben or Garth or something like that. I know a lot of good Bens. I'm not trying to throw Bens under the bus. I'll just be honest with you, I don't know any Garths that were not in the film Wayne's World. Or, alternatively, are the highest selling country music male artist of all time. Because #1 female artist is definitely Shania, unless you count Taylor Swift. But I would feel that, honestly, she made her pivot to pop early enough in her career. I would not consider her a country artist. Shania, on the other hand, always had that kind of country thing going on for her. And I hope Garth finds his Becca. That's all I'm saying. Everybody deserves to find happiness. Or I hope Garth finds his Ben, you know, if that's what he's into. It's fine either way, dude. You bond over a shared love of Rob Schneider films. I will admit I have seen a Rob Schneider film in theaters. It was the 2002 film The Animal. I was in 8th grade. That's my excuse. The other one, hello? Okay. My other excuse is, if there was ever a period... Hey, here's the thing. I didn't greenlight the Rob Schneider film The Animal, okay? Someone in Hollywood recognized this guy had star power, started making him the leading man in many films. So it's not like I created the demand for Rob Schneider films as an 8th grader, okay? Plus my parents went to see it with me, which is like... I mean, they should be ashamed. Now that I think about it, the common element in every Rob Schneider movie I've ever seen is that my parents were like, oh, this looks funny. Average, everyday man becomes People Magazine's sexiest celebrity ever. It's got a frickin' 0 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is like, it's like Hearts, you know? To get a 0 is almost as impressive as getting a 100. In fact, it might be more so. Even The Fanatic has like 27, which is just quite honestly unfathomable. But, anyway. Yeah, I've seen a Rob Schneider film in theaters. I'd forgotten about it until Dan brought it up a couple of Unities ago. Then I can't believe that it's based on me when I was thinking about the most embarrassing movie I've ever seen in theaters. I would say that The Animal is probably up there. And the reason it's more embarrassing than any of the other movies I've seen in theaters is because I was excited to see it. Some of the other ones, there was like a recurring element of like begrudgedness. This one, it has a bit of a trump card, which is that I was a child. But it also help me. Like, even though I was 13, I was stoked. I was like, dude, this movie is gonna own. What's not to like? Christopher Walken, that elderly actor that's been in absolutely no good movies I've ever seen, but was also the catalyst for all the humor in the More Cowbell sketch. He's like my 3rd favorite actor, probably, at the time. Yeah, you know, that funny old man from the Fatboy Slim music video, where, I don't know, this song, I can take it or leave it, but, you know, he's a funny old man dancing. You know, this is why I always say, like, you know, you should watch movies as you get, that you liked as a kid as you get older, sometimes just to ensure that you still have, like, an honest appraisal of them. Because when I was in 8th grade, if you were like, hey, they're making a full-length motion picture out of that old man who dances in the Six Flags commercial to We Like to Party, I would have been like, sign me up, brother. I prefer to sit at the back of the theater in the center of the row. So if you could... This is, again, I have to role play. This is the year 2002. I can't buy those tickets myself. Instead, I have to show up at the theater 45 minutes early. But that's okay, because I can watch the trivia on the screen. Oh, wait, there's no trivia on the screen at this point. The screen is covered with a curtain, and the curtain is drawn back before the movie begins, lending a certain sense of gravitas to The Old Man Dancing Chronicles. Dancing Round the World. Starring Martin Short's lookalike. You wouldn't believe the crazy things he gets up to. And the laughs, friends, and dances he has along the way. It was back when movie trailer voice was a thing. Yeah, okay, I'll do a little tortilla boy. You happy? I did the little tortilla boy thing. Honestly, hello, Tomo. Hey, how you doing, brother? You having a nice little nap there? Ooh. I think I'm gonna take them both. I tried to mash the button to suck up the shovel. It's a little reckless. By the way, I have no idea why we also got to deal with the angel. What's up with that, brother? Did we gulp a trinket or something, Tomo, that did that? That was weird. Anyway. Dude, I mean, it's bad to lose a run with Polyphemus attached to it. Which is why I've decided we will not lose this run, and instead we'll win it easily. Yikes. Yikes. Just move, please. Thank you. Wait for this guy to get set. Go for it. Send him. It's kind of nice to have a glass cannon run, to be honest. What do you think, Tomo? How's your day go? I always wonder. To a man are the days of a cat as the days of a man are to a god. To me, his life, it's not devoid of purpose. I think that's a very insulting way to describe it. But every day is pretty similar. You know, he's sleeping, he's grooming, he's playing, he's eating, he's drinking some water. He meows, I pet him, he goes back to bed and starts the cycle all over again. You know, there's not a whole lot of variation. But you know, am I not guilty of the same passage? Come to my office here. Been in my office for about 8.5 hours so far today, just talking to myself. And to what end? Do I leave the day in a different position than I started it? No, I suppose not really. One day a week, instead of going into my office, I go outside, take a nice little walk around the neighborhood, play some Pokemon Go. You know? It's like the cat's playing with the laser pointer. If there is an observing force out there in the world, do they not look at my trifles and find them as unfulfilling as those of a common house cat? I don't know. I'm just I'm just trying to prove a long-standing theory I've had that you can make literally anything sound philosophical by just constantly asking as many questions as possible and using an inflated vocabulary. Have you ever considered that the wavelength of light that you consider to be the chromatic color of blue to you is actually, to me, something akin more to a chartreuse? Really makes you ponder. We live in a society, etc., etc. You get the idea. I got no patience for a lot of philosophical discussions. People think that makes me small-minded sometimes. It's not the case. I have an endless amount of patience for issues related to the life of a human person on planet Earth. You know, what does it mean to find meaning in your life? You know, what gives you meaning in your life? When do you feel most relaxed? What makes you feel most anxious? You know, what are your dreams, your goals, your hopes, your et ceteras and your et ceteras? What I have very little patience for is conversations that are like, dude, what if aliens landed on Earth tomorrow? I mean, that's the kind. Look, I'm just trying to knock out the rent, brother. You're coming at me with all these questions, like, I don't know. You're forcing me to evaluate a lot of different factors in our conversation here that exist and hinge entirely on hypotheticals. You know, that's a tough question. What if aliens landed tomorrow? I don't know. I'd turn on the news. I'll tell you that much. I would watch that news broadcast. I want to be as aware as possible of all of the issues surrounding first contact, okay? I want to know what the aliens look like. I want to know what spacecraft they came on. I want to know how are they communicating. You know, are they hitting you with some kind of heptapodish, non-linear passage of time sort of stuff, or are they? Wouldn't it be wild if they just showed up but they were speaking like French? Wouldn't that mess with you? I wonder what that's the kind of question I'd like to answer. Americans, how would you feel if aliens showed up and they were just speaking French? And then when you asked them questions about why they were speaking French, they just replied, well, we wanted to learn the language of the most powerful nation on Earth. You think you could hold it together? Would you find it humorous, or would there be a little undercurrent of cosmic jealousy? My favorite Flaming Lips song. Okay. We don't need a speed upgrade. I think we want this, and we want stats. Or they came... I mean, now we're in Douglas Adams territory, I guess. So they came down and just started... They were like, take me to your leader. And then, like, you know... Secretary General of the United Nations walks out. Sorry, United Nations. Well, if there's still more than one country left, I guess. Anyway, the point is... and then, you know, he's like, Mr. Alien... Oh, we almost threaded the needle. Mr. Alien, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Ban Ki-moon, Secretary General of the United Nations. At the time that Northernlion knew who the Secretary General of the United Nations was. Probably no longer Ban Ki-moon. My guess is that it's not Boutros Boutros, right? That's a long time ago. Anyway, and then the alien goes, not you, you idiot. And he points, like, next to him there's a little dog on a leash. And he goes, you! And then the dog goes, bark, bark. And then the aliens are like, we see you have raised the humans well. Please be kind to them. They are weak-willed and impulsive. And the dog goes, bark. And it's one of those classic Rob Schneider-esque movie bits where the dog says bark, but the subtitle is like a really, really well thought out and cogent argument that's like, thank you. Okay, hold on. It's got to be a little longer than that. We have always welcomed the Galatians. Wait, those are real people. I think it's a book in the Bible. I'm adding this to my cringe collection. When you try to come up with the name of an alien species, but instead accidentally end up coming up with a book of the Bible. Very relatable. Ooh, You get the idea. Anyway, the movie, it'll come out next February. It's not a good month for movies, but that's okay. Get Out came out in February. We're trying to buck the trend. And by we, I mean me and Jordan Peele, who is not aware that we're working together on this because we've never had any sort of contact, direct or otherwise. But I like to think that we're kindred spirits because we both enjoy good film. The medium known as cinema. You ever think about how the words cinema and cinnamon are very close and yet they have almost no connection meaningfully with one another, except you know what unifies them? The 1957 movie Some Like It Hot, which is indeed must be the case if these cinnamon-themed candies and drinks continue to exist. Some must like it hot. Hey, some like it sweltering. Please let me leave this run. I'm out. I'm out of talk juice. It's just absolute nonsense pouring out from, I was gonna say every orifice, but really just the one. My butt. That's where we're at. That's where we're at as a content delivery professional right now. Making jokes about my own anus. Don't do it! I gotta get a hobby. That's not true. I don't need a hobby. I've got you guys. I've got you guys. And some people want it all. I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, babe. If it ain't you, babe. Some people want diamond rings. I don't want anything. Is that what she says in this? If it ain't you, babe. But ain't you. Now it's Robert De Niro, I guess. Please don't make me fight this boss again. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for freeing me for this mortal coil. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you did, click the like button. It's a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!